What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Steph growing in zone 6B. If you are here for the first time, welcome for the first time. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. So, what am I doing today? I am going to plant up some I'm going to plant up some pepper plants. So I started these pepper plants in a cell like this. And really, the roots don't look that bad, but I don't want the plant to become stressed. Well, these look bad. See that? I don't want the roots to become stressed and then these plants start to flower. Or another thing that can happen is, I noticed from previous years that they can, the roots can become brown, and when they do that, then the plant will start to kind of die off or, really struggle. So for me, I start pepper plants in middle of February. They typically take a long time to grow. These are growing a lot faster than my other ones. And I think the reason being is because, I kept up on my fertilizing. When they got their first set of true leaves, so they got these leaves, and then when they got these true leaves, these are the true leaves, these are the starter leaves here, these are the true leaves, and then you can even see in here, there's a third leaf coming in right here. Once they start to get these leaves here, about a week after, I start to give them regular fertilizer. Now, when my plants are indoors, I typically don't give them anything but nitrogen. So nitrogen is for its leafy green growth. So I want my plants to focus on root development. And so I give them nitrogen only. When they get outside, I give them a well-balanced fertilizer. So the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium, I normally give them an organic fertilizer, granular fertilizer, or an organic water-soluble fertilizer, or a mixture of both. Or I have compost as well, since I typically compost every year, and I give them that as well to get them going. But while they're in the house, I don't give them any of those things. The whole goal is to keep my seedlings healthy while they're indoors until it's ready to start to plant in May. Now, for planting out of peppers and tomatoes and all of your warm weather crops are very picky. So I don't plant any of those things out until right around Mother's Day. This hot Ohio weather can be kind of tricky, and so what you may see is it being, nice now, which it is supposed to be decent for the next 10 days. This is great weather for me to plant out my brassicas, which is my kale, my cauliflower, my broccoli, my collards, cabbage, all of those things, even leeks and onions. So by April the 1st, right now, I planted out garlic, spring garlic. If you have not planted garlic in the fall, I just released a video showing me planting out some spring garlic. What I did for that was gave it a cold stratification period, which I put in the refrigerator for a couple months when I decided that I wanted to plant garlic. And so that was right around maybe January-ish or so. About 4 to 8 weeks, I'll say, is good enough for cold stratification. At least that's what I have seen. And then I'm going to plant out some leeks, which can go down to 20 degrees, and plant out my onions, which can also take a frost. And so, you may get some dieback and whatnot, but at any rate, I'm still going to go ahead and plant those things out. So watch those videos and watch how I do that. But for today, we are indoors. I do not have a fancy setup. I am in my basement. You can probably tell by the iron to the right of me with my ironing board. I am in my basement. That is all that I have. I don't have any fancy setups, but it's enough for me to keep my seedlings healthy and happy until May, which is when I plant outside. Okay, y'all, let's get into it. I'll show you what I do. So, these are the peppers that I have already potted up. As you can see, they're doing quite well. Around this time of year, I look and see for the ones that I potted up if there are any that are starting to flower. If you get peppers that flower prematurely, go ahead and pinch those flowers off. I potted these up as well, and I did see on a few of these that they are starting to flower. I don't let any peppers flower in the house, you guys, because they don't need that added stress. Peppers don't need that stress in their life in the house. But all of these are my sweet peppers, and these are for my own consumption, for my own growth. I'm gonna grow. In other words, gonna grow these from my yard. They are disease free. Like this one here. Let me see if I can give you all an example. It's starting to flower a little bit, right in the middle. So if you can see way down here, y'all see that flower? When that gets a little bit taller, I'll be pinching that off. I won't let any of these peppers flower indoors, but you can see that they're doing well. So I have this tray. These cups here, I got these from a local discount store. So I used to buy some seedlings, and when I bought seedlings, they came in these little cups, and I was like, hey, you know, that's pretty good. So, you know, why don't I save those? Now, you will also notice that these have a little bit of roots coming out the bottom, which is a little bit of a concern for me because it's only March and we have a month to go. So I'm hoping that these don't stress and grow too much. If they start to coil and grow too much, then I may go ahead and pot them up again. But they look okay for right now, so we will leave them. So what do I have here? I got these tiny little plants right here. Let me turn this around because I like to make light work of things. And, you know, they're in these very small trays, which are great for starting seedlings, but they're not great for, maintaining seedlings. So I'm going to take my pot here, and in this pot, I have some soil, and I'm going to use this soil, and I'm going to go ahead and pot up these habaneros, is what these are. Now, I did my mild jalapenos the other day. I did my mild jalapenos the other day, and when I did my mild jalapenos, I just stir this around like this, like I'm doing some cake batter or something. I did do my mild jalapenos, so I have hot peppers. I have habaneros, jalapenos, cayenne, and sweet peppers that I'm growing this season. Oh, and I have some cubanelles too. And what I'm gonna do is get my bag of soil right here. I got some Fox Farms, and I'm gonna get down in here, and I'm digging in this bag. Y'all can't see me, but y'all gonna just have to trust what I say I'm doing. I am digging in this bag because you know what? They don't need seed starting mix. So y'all have to trust what I say. I'm digging in here, and I got me some Fox Farms, and this is what I'm going to use to pot these plants up. Now, I don't need seed starting mix because these are well established, and you don't need to have seed starting mix when you're potting up. You can go ahead and put them in some regular soil, which is what I'm going to do. Let me add some water to this, and then we will get it going. So, anytime I pot up, I always pre-moisten my soil. I do not want to put my healthy pepper plants in soil that is dry, that will not soak up any water, because I want them to because they are living indoors, I need to give them the best possible chance of doing well while they are inside of the house with me. And so for that reason, I'm always going I am always going to pot up in moist soil. So this is what I do. I go ahead and tamp it down. And just for the record, guys, if you have some pepper plants, so I'm all over the place. I go ahead and tamp this down, right? And then I just tap like this. This is a small one, so I can just pop that in there just like so, and press it down. And that's what I do. And I'm going to stick that right on the other side of here where I have some room. So this is how all of these get done. Like this. Low dirt like that. Now this one is 2 plants. So if you put your fingers here, right by the stems, and you either squeeze or you pat like this, and sometimes if the roots are in there and they coming out the bottom like that, you can tap, and then you won't damage your roots. You see that? So that's what I do. These I'm gonna have to separate. Now, if you're I would not. I do not. I never separate my plants while my soil is dry. I always go with moistened soil, and it's because when you separate your seedlings, see that has a good root ball, they can get a little bit of stress, and so you don't want to separate them with dry soil and put them into dry soil. It just isn't the best growing environment for them, guys. So, don't do it like that. And one thing that people don't know about peppers, I can bury these a little deeper. If the stem is a little flimsy like this one, this stem is a little flimsy. It's not real flimsy, but it's a little flimsy. I'm not going to bury it up to the neck like I would a tomato. But I will drop it in there a little bit further down so that the plant itself has some stability. So you can do that as well. Anyway, that's what I do, and that has worked for me. Not, like I said, not real deep, but if you drop it down a little and give the plant some stability, it will do just fine in most cases. And so, I ain't telling you to do it, I'm just telling you what I do and what has worked for me. But as you can see, my plants are looking just fine. One thing I will tell you guys though is, while I don't mind potting up, it is not my favorite thing to do. But because I have a small space, I start things in, I try to generate the smallest footprint. Dropped it. Generate the smallest footprint possible when I am starting seeds, because I don't have a lot of space. And when you don't have a lot of space, if you start in these gigantic containers, sometimes you don't have any space left to plant anything out. And you're looking for space, and I'm not going to continue to buy grow light after grow light after grow light. I typically, for grow lights, if I'm going to do some kind of expansion, I'll expand like once a season. I don't want to keep running back and forth to the store, in other words, and expanding that way, because I like to be a good steward of my money, See, that one has roots in it, the bottom. And for me to be a good steward of my money, that means I ain't gonna be running back and forth to the store. Gardening season will make you very excited. You know, they're showing all the things that you can buy, but reality is you don't need to have all of these things in order to grow your own fruits and vegetables. And so, since I know that, I ain't doing it, y'all. I'm not gonna buy a million things. I'll buy what I need, some things that I want and like, but you know, I'm not gonna spend like a ton of money on things because you know, I just don't want to do that. I want to have fun. I want to grow my own food, but I also want to be a good steward of my money, especially the way that the world is today. So I got one more of these I'm getting ready to do. And then I'm going to stick my label in there. And, you know, the final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to water them in, because even though this soil is moist, I always give it some water so that they can establish, the plants can establish themselves well. You know how you hear a little parking and you got to stop talking? Same thing that happens when you plant up. But anyway, so that the plants can establish themselves well. Move this out the way so y'all can see. I always give them some water. And so there it is. And here's my plant tag. I started these on can't see that, 2/19. And look how much they've grown already just from 2/19. So let me show y'all. Move that out the way. That's what they look like. These are the ones that I planted up before. These here on this side are the ones that I just did. And they will establish themselves well and do very well. And then the last thing I'll do is water them in. So, you know, that's what I'll be doing. I started way more peppers than I thought I would, guys. And turn this camera up because I want to see y'all lovely faces. Y'all want to see my lovely face. I know y'all do. I started way more peppers than I intended to, guys. And, you know, that's okay. That's okay. Some of them I'll keep. Some of them I will, I like to preserve my peppers. And some of them I might sell in my plant sale. And so that's it. You guys take care. You guys take care of your seedlings while you can. Actually, to be perfectly honest, you could probably start some pepper seeds right now. I know it's almost April, but I mean, you would get a late harvest into the fall. But in Ohio, you could technically start some pepper seeds now. I mean, if you're gonna do it, go ahead and do it. Don't talk about it, be about it. But yeah, you can do it. All right, y'all. Y'all take care of your seedlings. I'm gonna finish potting up all of these plants, and I will see you guys on the next video. All right, bye for now.